Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back playing some FTB Departed for episode 2. And I would like to start by apologizing for the almost a week-long gap between episode 1 and episode 2. And for those who follow me on Twitter, you'll know I had a couple of recording issues whilst trying to record episode 2. Eventually I had to scrap the whole thing, restart again, but we are back with episode 2 from FTB Departed. So, since the end of last episode, I've gone ahead and done quite a bit more mining down here. You can see just, oh, I don't know if you can see it just yet, but right down at the end there, I don't know if you can quite see it yet, but there are some diamonds at the bottom of there. You can probably just see the blueness if you're watching in like 1080p. Right at the bottom there, we have a little bit of gold. And you'll notice I haven't mined them. And the reason that I haven't mined them yet is because our stone axe that we built last episode only goes as far as iron. You'll remember that we started only being able to mine stone, and when we mined enough, we were able to mine iron. However, that's only as far as it goes with stone. You can't keep mining and eventually be able to mine things like gold, diamond, and emeralds, and etc, etc. So what we're going to do to start with this episode is, first of all, we're going to go to sleep, because it is dark outside, and I do not like it when it's dark outside, especially in this mod pack. So the first thing we're going to do is work on a Tinker Smeltery, because the Tinker Smeltery allows us, first of all, to double all of our ores, which is pretty cool. We've got 21 iron in here. If we throw that through a smeltery, that turns into 42 ingots, as opposed to 21, which is pretty cool. And it also allows us to make tools out of metal. So we're going to try and make some sort of iron tool, probably also go ahead and make an iron lumber axe. And the lumber axe basically allows us to chop down trees in one swoop, so we just hit the bottom block, the whole thing falls down. It's going to save us a ton of time, and it's going to allow us to get into a new base pretty quickly, because right now, this is not going to be our primary base of operations. We're not going to stay in this little shack that we've built. So basically, what we need to do to get a smeltery is just get some sand, some gravel, and some clay, combine them together like so. That gets us grout, smelt the grout up in a furnace, like so. And that should get us some seared bricks. Now, if we were to go ahead and look in here, we have some seared bricks here, and we also have another stack there. I went ahead and made a couple between episodes, because these do take quite a while to smelt up. And basically, once we've got those, we can go ahead and do something like this. And I'm not quite sure, I should know by now how many I need exactly, but I'm not quite sure how many we need for this smeltery. We're going to make a 3x3 smeltery. I'm thinking for now, I'm going to kind of build it into the wall of our base. There's not much room inside here, so I don't want to build it like here and just like have to jump over it to get out of the room. And I don't want to build it completely outside either, because that would mean having to go outside to access it, which means we have to put ourselves in danger of being attacked by every single mob under the sun. So instead, we're going to kind of have it right about there. So, for those who don't know how this works, basically, we put 3 here, we put 3 here, we're going to have 3 along the back, and then along the front, we're going to have a controller, a drain, and a tank to hold the lava that's going to melt all the liquids. So, in order to do that, we might need a couple more of these seared bricks. We might have to wait for a few more to be finished. But basically, a controller looks like that. We need a drain, which does require a piece of glass, so let's go ahead and do that. We're also going to need, sorry, the tank needs a piece of glass. The drain, it just looks like this. Boom. And then the tank, as I said, requires a piece of glass. Thank you very much. In the middle, surround it with seared brick, get you a tank. Those are the 3 main components that you have to have in every smeltery. And then go down something like this. It doesn't really matter in what order you put these down. I'm going to put them down like that so we can access all of our stuff from within our base. And then finally, we're going to need 2 more of these actual bricks, which means we are going to have to wait for 4 more of those, that grout to smelt up, but that's fine. While that's doing that, one thing actually I forgot to mention already in this episode is the Thaumonomicon. At the end of last episode, we were working towards getting ourselves a Thaumonomicon. We made ourselves an iron-capped wooden wand, and we even went as far as to start growing some sugarcane out here. I've also, since the end of last episode, started growing some wheat, which is almost there. These 2 are actually there already, so I'll take you. And I thought I could just right-click to harvest it, but apparently I cannot. I thought that was a feature of hams. I thought that was a feature of Pams. Apparently, I am wrong. We should, however, I think, be able to turn this into flour somehow. Maybe? No? Oh, wow. I was hoping we'd be able to turn it into flour and get 3 bread for our 3 wheat, but unfortunately, it looks like that's not the case. So instead, we'll just go ahead and do something like this. And then we should be able to smell that into toast. Yes, that should work. Good. All right. Let's take the final 5 of these. Go like that. Boom. Boom. Also, I started there, didn't finish. By the way, we don't have to make the Thaumonomicon. In fact, if we go ahead and press H, it opens this up, and if we click Library in at the top right there, it comes up with all the books that are installed on this mod pack. So for instance, the Thaumonomicon, we can just click on it, and it opens up the Thaumonomicon. We don't need to make any of the books. I believe we still can if we want to, but there's no real point. We can just press H, and then access any of them, like the Lexing of Botania, just to open it. The Tinker's books, like Mighty Smelting Materials and New Volume 1 and 2, all of them are there. It's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and stick this final block down, and we should see the front of the smeltery light up over here, like so, and now we can actually put stuff in. Now, before we can put stuff in, we do need a bucket of lava. You'll see that I have one prepared already. Boom, a bucket of lava goes in, and then the first thing that we need to do before we start putting like iron in there and turning it into molten iron is we need a way to actually pull it out of here, because right now it's just going to go into this little internal tank that the smeltery has, and it's going to stay there. We need a way of pulling the liquids out of the smeltery and either pulling them out into material parts like a pickaxe head or into ingots, and the way we're going to do that is by smelting up a little bit more grout. And while that's doing that, there's another thing that I want to start on another mod that I want to start on, should I say. I'm not going to start on Thaumcraft just yet. We need to do a little bit more work, and I think get a couple more shards maybe. Although we have 10 in total, we might be able to start with Thaumcraft. But what I'm going to start with today is I'm going to start with a little bit of Botania. And the way that we start with Botania, those are really the two main big mods that we have installed on the pack of Botania and Thaumcraft. And the way we get started with Botania is we get a flower. You'll notice I've gone ahead and picked up a bunch of Botania flowers since the end of last episode. You can go like this, turn them into petals, put any color petal in this little pattern here. So I could use blue, I could use yellow, I could use white, I could use any of the color flowers as long as they're from Botania, and that will get us a petal apothecary. And for now, I'm going to stick it down right about there. It looks a little bit awkward. You'll notice I also finished the floor since last episode. I think I'm going to do this where I can, like put little blocks underneath it so that they're not just floating like these are, or like this is. But like I said, this is not going to be our permanent base, and the only reason I put them on the bottom half of the slab instead of the top half is that monsters don't spawn if you put slabs on the bottom half of the block, which is why I did that. And basically with the petal apothecary, we grab some water, stick it in there, like, what? Oh, there we go, it works. Okay, stick it in there, and then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our first flower from Botania, and that is the Pure Daisy. And the Pure Daisy is made simply by throwing in 4 white petals, or mystical white petals, I should say. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And to finish off any flower in Botania, you just go ahead and add in some seeds, and boom, we get ourselves this guy, a Pure Daisy. Nice. So, let's go ahead and stick this guy down, let's say here for now. And basically what the Pure Daisy does is it allows us to get living wood and living rock. So if we had some stone, which we don't, I'm going to really quickly cook up some stone here. Let's just throw that in there. That should turn into some stone. And that gets us toast from Pam's. Let's go ahead and munch on that. Actually, we're fine. Look how much saturation that toast is going to do. That is very nice indeed. Obviously, we haven't eaten toast before, so that's going to do wonders of good for us. But if we go ahead and do this, that's going to get us a casting table, and if we do this, we get ourselves a seared faucet. And what we can do with that is we can stick you there, we can go ahead and break this slab, we can put that there, and this is now going to allow us to pull things out of the controller. Now, in order to pull out ingots, we have to have an ingot cast, and the ingot cast is always made out of either aluminium brass or out of gold. Now, if we go ahead and look in Mighty Smelting, and go over to this page, you can see aluminium brass is made from 3 aluminium and 1 copper in the smeltery. So, you will notice that we do have enough of both of those. Let's go ahead and throw in 3 aluminium and 1 copper, like so. And in fact, I'm going to do we have any more? We do. I'm going to do a little bit more than that. I'm going to throw in another 3 and another 1. And we still have enough to do even more. I might do a 3rd set in a second if we need it, because we are going to need some aluminium brass for every single cast that we make. So, for instance, the pickaxe head cast for the iron pickaxe, the lumber axe head cast, I don't think it's called a lumber axe head cast, but do you know what I mean, for the head of the lumber axe, and also the ingot cast so we can start multiplying our ores in the smeltery. All of that stuff we are going to require. How is this doing? This is doing good. 8 is fine. Actually, 8 is perfect. And if we were to do this and surround this Pure Daisy with stone, this thing basically, anything in this like 1 block radius around it will turn into either, well, I say anything, either stone, which we've got here, or oak wood. I believe birch, I believe any type of wood, should I say it. So either stone or wood in this 1 block area around the pure daisy. After about 60 seconds, will turn into either living rock if you put stone down, or living wood if you put wood down, which can then be used to make some pretty cool stuff and kind of get started in the world of Botania. And you'll see over here we have some molten aluminium, and as soon as this copper finishes smelting it up, it should combine up in the smeltery to form the alloy that is aluminium brass, and everything should be good to go. Whilst we're waiting for that real quick, I would like if we could get another chest here. I knew I had an axe somewhere. I'm going to quickly go cut down some more wood because we do need another chest, really. We've got all these flowers in our inventory that are just taking up space and are not really doing anything. So I think for now, actually, I want to try something here. First of all, I want to get through my door. I want to see, can I do this? If I make a chest, can I stick it below the petal apothecary and still open it? Because if I can, I think I might do that. I can, nice. I'm going to stick all my flowers in here, and this seems like a nice place to kind of just put all of my Botania stuff for the time being. We'll also go ahead and just pull out all of you and you, and I think that's about it. Let's get rid of the rest. Again, spacebar and right-click in order to just dump all your inventory at once. It's a pretty handy little shortcut. This is now done. You'll see we have 16 ingots worth of aluminum brass, and the way we're going to make an ingot cast is we can go ahead and grab any ingot. I think seared brick works. And the reason I'm going to use seared brick is I believe you actually lose the seared brick once the cast is made. We did, but that's now gone ahead and made us an ingot cast. So, for example, if we want to get an ingot of aluminium brass for whatever reason, we could just pull it out. And voila, we have ourselves an ingot of aluminium brass, which we can then stick in here, or we can put anywhere, and that's all well and good. So, I'm going to go ahead and put some iron in here. I'm actually just going to fill this up with iron. The iron won't merge with the aluminium brass, so there's no worries there. It's not going to form into some new alloy. That's going to be fine. The next thing we have to do is get ourselves a pickaxe head cast. And the way we do that is we head on into our little part builder again with some cobblestone. And we get ourselves a stone pickaxe head. And very similar to the way we made an ingot cast, we're just going to throw that down like so. And once the iron has finished smelting up, we're going to pour the iron over the pickaxe head. That's going to make... sorry, we're not going to pour the iron over at all. We're going to pour the aluminium brass over like this. And once the iron is done, we're going to do... What we're going to do is we're going to pour the iron into this cast. And that's going to get us an iron pickaxe head. Now, as for the rest of the tool, I think we'll probably stick with the same materials. I'm most likely not going to make a full-on, like, iron pickaxe just yet. I don't really see much of a point. We'll probably go ahead and do something like... Well, I say probably. We are going to go ahead, because I'm doing it right now, and make ourselves just a wooden tool rod. And then I think what would be a good idea is to make us go to sleep. But also, if we use a paper binding, if we use some of that sugarcane out by our wheat farm, and make a paper binding, we actually get 1 extra modifier on our pickaxe. And there you go. There's all our living rock. Cool stuff. But yeah, the extra modifier allows us to do to add extra things. For those who have played with Tinker's Construct before, you know what I'm on about. For those who haven't, you'll see what I'm on about in, like, the next couple of episodes. Maybe even this episode, if we find some redstone. But let's go ahead and just do this. That should take about an ingot's worth to fill up that axe head. We'll then take it. And if we do this, get some paper, and make ourselves a paper tool binding, like so. And then where's our tool station? This guy over here. Pickaxe, we want binding, rod, and the axe head. That's going to get us an iron pickaxe. And you can see down here it says modifiers remaining 2. If we look on this one, it says modifiers remaining 2. I thought that should have given it writable. It did. That should give it an extra modifier. I think. Anyway, now if we head on down into here, we should be able to go ahead and start mining some stuff like the gold. Once we got the gold, we can actually get into Thermcraft, because in order to get into Thermcraft, we need a Thermonomicon. And in order to get those diamonds as well, we are going to need some iron. But this should... Oh, harvestable, no? Mining level iron. Okay. Well, it looks like for whatever reason, that started with the mining level of iron. I think if I go ahead and mine enough stuff, like again, if I go ahead and mine... let's see, 335 blocks worth of stuff. It should be able to go ahead and start mining the gold and the diamonds. I think it should move up to obsidian level of being able to mine. Well, I don't know, actually. I think it'll move up to be able to mine gold and diamonds. I don't think it'll be quite up to the level of being able to mine obsidian. But I'll go ahead and do that between episodes, because there's really no point in me doing that just yet. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to head back up here, and we're going to start with a little bit more of Botania. I'd like to get some basic Botania stuff up and running. Now, what we should probably do to start with is get an unlimited water source. That's going to make our lives so much easier, because every single flower that we make in Botania does require us to go through the Petal Apothecary and to put some water in it. So, we'll go ahead and do something like that, and something like... that. Nice. That gets us an unlimited water source, which we can then do that with. And the next thing that we're going to make is we are going to make a Daybloom. That's this flower over here. It's made using 2 yellow petals, a blue petal, an orange petal, and then obviously a seed thrown in, and that will get us a Daybloom. So, let's see. Do we have all of that stuff? We needed orange, which we don't have right off the bat. I think we needed light blue. Yeah, light blue and then 2 yellow. So, yellow we've got. Light blue we've got. Let's throw those in there. So, I don't think these despawn, by the way, so I think you're fine. Light blue, yellow. Then we're going to have to go out and look for some orange. So, I'm going to go try and find some orange flowers, guys. And I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, once we have ourselves some mystical orange flowers, we can go ahead and do something like this. Follow it with a seed, and we get ourselves a Daybloom. Nice. So basically, the Daybloom is, to put it like as simply as I possibly can, it's like a solar panel of Botania, is basically what it is. It takes sunlight and it turns it into mana. Mana being the main source of power in Botania. For those who don't know, it's kind of like the redstone flux of Botania. And the first thing we're going to do with that is we're going to make ourselves a mana pool, which is like an energy cell, I guess. It's going to store the mana for us. We're going to make a diluted mana pool, because that's the only thing we can make to start. And we're going to stick it down, I guess for now, right about there. And then if we put on our Daybloom, like so, that is going to start to actually generate mana from the sun. It's already doing it. Now, in order to actually see things in Botania, we're going to need a Wand of the Forest. Now, if we go ahead and type in Wand of the Forest, we get this one over here. And to make it, we just need 3 living wood twigs and then 2 of any color petal. That's going to determine what the wand looks like, depending on which color petals you get. And then to get living wood twigs, we need 2 living wood. So we're going to need a total of 6 living wood. So let's again quickly grab our axe here. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start right now. And I'm going to make a lumber axe. And the way we make a lumber axe, I believe, is a large plate. We need a tough tool rod, we need a binding, and we need a broad axe head. I think that's everything we need. Let's have a look in the tool station here. And actually, we can't make it yet, because the way that we do this is actually through a tool forge. So instead, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull all this iron out, because to make a tool forge, we actually need an absolute ton of iron. I don't know if we have enough. We need 4 blocks worth, which is 36 total iron. We have not that much in there, but we do, I think, have enough in total, although it is going to use a ton of our iron. But I think it might be worth it. So I'm going to go away, guys. I'm going to grab all the iron we can get. I'm going to get a couple more seared bricks. What I'll do quickly, I guess, actually, just to speed this up, before we start, is I'm going to grab some more wood. I'm going to stick it around here. That should turn it into living wood, and I'll be back in a second. And again, a little while later, once we have ourselves a ton of iron, basically all of our iron, we can go ahead and do something like this. We can go ahead and make ourselves some of these seared bricks. They go along the top. We are going to have to grab our original tool station. But that's fine, because the tool forge can actually do everything the tool station can do and a little bit more. And then with the 4 iron blocks, we get ourselves a tool forge. Nice. You can go down right about there, and you'll see that we have a bunch of extra tools and extra weapons over here that we can make now that we're using a tool forge, one of which is the lumber axe, which is made with the big creeper face, the lumber axe head, the tough rod, and the tough binding over here. We are waiting for a little bit more iron. I did just go mine some more. That should take us to the 9 that we're going to need in order to make a stone broadhead axe thing there for the head of the lumber axe. If we throw that in there and make a cast like so, you'll see that it requires, okay, I'll show you here. If we scroll over it, it says material cost 8, which basically means it's going to take 8 iron ingots to make a broad axe head out of iron. So we are going to have to wait for this stuff to finish up here before we can make a broad axe head. Again, for the rest of it, I think we'll probably make, say, either the tough binding or the rod. I think we'll make the binding out of paper. We can't. We'll make it out of, we can make the rod out of paper, which I think is going to lower the durability overall, but I think that's not too big of a deal. We can make the binding out of something else. We can make it out of Terra Steel, of all things, but we're not going to make it out of Terra Steel because we don't have enough Terra Steel. I'm wondering if we can make it out of just stone. I know we can. I don't know if this is actually usable, though. But we'll try. We can try for nothing. We'll put that... that one's tough. That one's not tough. Did I use the wrong one there? Can the tough one be made out of paper? It can't. It can still be made out of... It says stone. I'm going to try stone and see if it works. We'll throw you in here as well. Like so. Let's see. Are you done? You are. Let's start pulling that out. That's probably going to take a while because it does need 8 ingots worth to pull out. And I guess for the creeper face, we're probably also going to try and use stone. I'm not quite sure if this is going to work. I know in some packs it doesn't let you use stone, but then in others it does. We will find out momentarily. Let's take you and see if this works. It does. We got ourselves a lumber axe. It is clumsy. It is dark outside, so I'm going to go to sleep. But we should now be able to go ahead and do something like this. We should be able to hit the bottom one, and the whole thing should just come tumbling down. Oh, look at that. Look at that. No more tall trees that are just a pain in the backside to cut down. We just hit the bottom, and we get scared because there is a big guy over there. The damage on this thing is 2. It's like worse than our other guy. I'm just going to back up a little bit. I think this should break most of these at once. There we go. Look at that. We can even break multiple. If it's not actually a tree, I think it just breaks like 2 or 3 at a time. Yeah, 2 by the looks of things. There is a lot of mobs on the minimap very close to us there, but I'm just going to hide in here for now. Once we got ourselves the living wood, which we were going for just a second ago, we can go ahead and make some twigs. Once we got ourselves all the twigs, we can go ahead and make ourselves a wand of the forest. Let's go orange and green, I guess, like so. And now, whilst we're holding this, if we were to go ahead and look at our deer bloom, and right click, it says unknown status, you can now see that yellow bar is full, which basically means that it is full of mana. Now, in order to actually send that mana from the deer bloom over to the mana pool, what we have to do is we have to make ourselves a mana spreader. And a mana spreader is basically just 6 living wood. So, again, gonna have to do a little bit of waiting around there. Let's see here if I go ahead and type in mana spreader. This guy over here is just a bunch of living wood, some gold, and some mystical white petals. Gold could be a bit of an issue. We have 4 gold there, thanks to all those nuggets, but we don't actually have a gold ingot. So, what I'm going to do, guys, again, I'm going to go away. We're going to wait for that living wood to finish. I'm going to go try and mine 335 blocks of pretty much stone to level this thing up, see if we can mine gold, at which point we'll mine the gold over here, probably run it through the smeltery, and I'll be back in a second. Hey, there we go. So we'll just stop mining later, and we can now mine redstone. Woo! I don't know if we can quite mine diamond yet, or if this actually ever will be able to mine diamond, but we can now mine gold, which is very nice indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few of these. As we said, we're going to head on back up to the surface. The living wood should be more than done by now, and we should be able to get our first mana spreader up and running, and we should be able to actually start to like send that mana from the deer bloom, start to store it, and start to get a little bit of a nice backlog going, so that in the future we can actually start to use that mana for some really cool stuff, which is actually pretty awesome. You can do some really cool things with mana, as anyone who has ever played with Botania in their life ever will tell you. We don't have any lava in there, so for now I'm just going to cook up this one. I didn't even pick up any of that gold, so it's time to go back down. And once we got ourselves that one, we can go ahead and grab these guys from out here. Now, we do only need 6 for now, so that will be fine. I'll go grab the rest in just a second. And if we combine them up like so, boom, boom, you can go there, and you can go there. That gets us a mana spreader, and basically what this does is it takes mana from mana-generating flowers, of which there are more than just the deer bloom. There's actually quite a lot of mana-generating flowers. The deer bloom is like the lowest tier one you can get. It's really, really easy. And basically the starter one, if we put this down like so, and get our wand of the forest out, we should see a nice line going from here to here. If you don't, you can just right-click on this, shift-right-click, sorry, and then shift-right-click. I think shift-right-click and right-click? Wait, right-click? Ah, okay, we need to go to, if you shift right-click with the wand of the forest or nothing, you can go to bind mode, and then if you right-click, shift right-click, and shift right-click, it's now oriented to this. It will be by default already, but then we're going to go back to function mode, and you should start to see, he says, you should start to see the mana come out of here into the mana spreader, and then get sent along into the mana pool. It's not. Let me see if I have to, I don't think I have to link these together, but let's go back to binding mode. Let's bind you to you, and then I guess like you to you? Is that working? Hey, there we go. It's attempted it all out, and in a second, we should see a nice little burst. Like, this is just showing us where it's going to go, but we should see an actual burst of mana get sent from here into the mana pool, and we should start to see mana actually appearing here. It is getting dark. I'm aware of this, but I'm hoping that we can show this off real quick. I'm going to slowly back away and try and sleep before this actually happens. Okay, come on. Come on. Please don't tell me I missed it. I didn't. Come on. There we go. Oh my gosh, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. It just goes to show, really, how little mana these day blooms produce. What I'll probably go ahead and do between episodes is make a couple more of these, stick them all down around this mana spreader. That's going to generate a little bit more mana, send it through to the mana pool ever so slightly. It's got a tiny little bit of mana in there. You can see that this thing does hold quite a bit of mana, but not quite as much as the actual mana pool. This is still a diluted mana pool. But for now, guys, I'm going to call today's episode there. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like. We'll be back soon, very soon, less than a week away, hopefully, with episode 3 of Feed the Beast Departed.